Do it now.
Hi, families.
Hi, families.
It's the Grants. We're outside on this chilly day, and we just wanted to show you some cool things that we like in our backyard again. Today, we're going to talk about an interesting phenomenon of a plant called an evergreen deciduous plant. And there's a few of them that exist, and you've probably seen them a lot. So what does it mean to be an evergreen deciduous plant? That's weird. It's almost opposite and it doesn't make any sense. But Daisy, what does it mean to be evergreen?
For it to stay green forever.
Well, you know.
Most of the time.
Most of the time. So through all the seasons. So what are some examples of evergreen plants or evergreen trees that are what most people think of?
Pine trees.
Pine trees, hemlock trees, and we have a bunch of those behind us you can see. But we have some interesting plants in our yard that are categorized or grouped up, known as evergreen deciduous plants. What's a deciduous plant?
I don't know.
Well, if there's evergreen and deciduous, and I said that they were opposites, what do you think that means?
So, deciduous may mean not green?
Not green, and it means it does what in the fall?
It'll turn brown.
And the leaves will
Fall.
That's right. So a deciduous plant typically looks as if it dies every year by losing its leaves or its foliage. But there are a few plants in our backyard that don't do that during the season. So one of those plants is this fern growing down here. And down right here, you can see that the new fiddleheads, which you'll start seeing carefully in all the forest, and we have some other ones in the forest, are down at the bottom. But the plant itself has all of these fern fronds, a frond, F-R-O-N-D, frond. That's the big leaf. And these tiny parts are the leaflets. So if we take one of these fronds of the Christmas fern, we can show you how easy it is to identify the Christmas fern. All right, Daisy, can you take a tiny leaflet, take a leaflet off, and show our friends how you know this is a Christmas fern? Yeah. So here, hold it like this. So each leaflet of a Christmas fern has a tiny, tiny, tiny Christmas tree on it. Do you see that tiny little triangle right there? So when you're looking at all of them together on the frond, you can see that they all have that tiny little triangle pointing out, and you can find it in the winter being green. And so that's how you know that that's the Christmas fern, as opposed to some other ferns that will start to pop up, cinnamon fern and fancy fern. Those come up seasonally. My favorite evergreen plant, my favorite evergreen deciduous plant is over here. We have a lot of them in our yard. And that's the mountain laurel right behind us. Mountain laurel is special in Connecticut because why? It's our state flower. The flower is pretty amazing. Whenever I look at it, it looks like a big dress upside down. And those flowers are really interesting to me because their stamens, or where they keep the pollen, are tucked into the flower. And when a pollinator, like a bee or a fly, comes, it wiggles the flower just so that the stamen flips out and launches the pollen onto the pollinator. And I just always seem to find that fascinating. So mountain laurel are also evergreen. So that means when it's all done having its flowers, then it still stays very beautifully green all season long. And the reason why that happens to some plants is because there are chemical components or chemicals inside the plants that allow it to, it won't freeze. It's like putting antifreeze in your car. It prevents the water in your car from freezing. And those components in these plants also prevent the water in the cells of the leaves from freezing and dying off. So those are some fun things we wanted to talk about today. And it's a little chilly, so I think we're gonna stay outside for a little while longer and then get ourselves warmed up back inside. So we hope you guys are enjoying nature, enjoying the outdoors, get outside, make your observations, draw your pictures, and we'll see you next time.
Mom,
Bye, family.